All right, everybody, we are back live here for the Ron Clark Academy Amazing Shake competition. We are in the in the rotunda, in the Great Hall now. It is time for the awards and also the feedback from the judges. So we're going to tune in to hear what Mr. Clark is saying and also hear what the judges have to say about what they just experienced.
Yeah, so let's hear some debriefing, some notes, some things so the students can improve in the future.
Turn it over to the judges. And do we have any judges who'd like to come forward and say, or stand up and say, here is something that I appreciated, here's someone who did a good job, or here's some recommendations I'll give you for the future if you had to do this again? Okay?
Well, thank you all for having me, and I was the Uber driver that was tipped. So I appreciate the funds for my lunch later on. But it was very clever. This was so super nice, all very professional. And it's very hard to come by these days. So you should congratulate yourselves. Teachers, you should congratulate yourselves. This was great. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Good. Well, my name was Kayla.
Sponsors, they're really coming together and giving their time and sharing their expertise. We're grateful.
That was me. So, a couple of things. Definitely want to give a shout out to Dylan and Tatum. They were really great, and I'll tell you why. Woo, yes, give it up, give it up. Woo! So let me tell you why. When you are talking to somebody or you're giving an approach or a stance that you have, you want to make sure you maintain your stance and you maintain that eye contact. There was a lot of people who were looking around because I guess there was a lot of things going on, so y'all were a little distracted, which is understandable. I get it. But make sure you are maintaining that eye contact when you're talking to somebody. You stand straight, you stand tall, because if you are confident in what you're saying, you're going to be confident in your stance, and therefore the person that you were talking to will be confident in your answer. So that is what I was looking for when I was waiting for you all to tell me what you would turn into, a musical. And then also I was really looking for somebody to really take it and understand the question that I was asking and really respond with that specific answer that I was looking for, a TV show or a movie. I got a lot of books. I got RCA, which was a really great idea. Shout out to y'all for that. But I was specifically looking for a TV show or a movie. So make sure y'all are also listening to what people are asking for and giving them specifically what they are asking for. Does that make sense, everyone? Really great job. This is my 4th or 5th year doing this.
Important. We've talked to students about that. There's a lot going on during the gauntlet, but also, are you answering the question that was asked of you? And it's very easy to get distracted and go off on a tangent. You have to make sure you answer the specific question.
Very important.
Back and forth. It just looks like you're anxious, you're uncomfortable. Plant. Be centered. It's powerful. Yes.
You kind of hit the point I was going to hit. You know, a lot of you, and you even said it toward the end, that you were really nervous, and so you're fidgeting and stuff like that. The one thing about fidgeting and all this anxious movement is the person that you're talking to, it's hard for them to absorb what you're saying because it's so distracting. So when you're saying all these great things, it won't land if you're, you know, moving around or, you know, playing with your, some people were playing with their name badge. But hey, here's what I'd say. You know, some people just knocked it out of the park, and some people, obviously, there's more work to do, and that's fine. When I was your age, I would have buckled. There's no way I could have done this. So I'm so impressed with all of you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Be important, not fidgeting too much and being a distraction.
Huge distraction.
Passenger seat there in Delta Airlines, and I didn't get a chance to meet with all of you. Yeah, I would echo what was already said. Some of it's your situational awareness, that maybe standing in front of someone might be a little different than how you are on a flight sitting next to someone. So it was always, again, it's not a checklist, but thinking about someone that might have sat back a little more in their seat. They had a certain kind of executive composure. Some of you all even buckled your safety belt, which was an interesting touch. I wasn't looking at all of that. Again, it was not a checklist, but it just was really, how are you taking in your environment? How might you kind of apply that attention to the person next to you in an appropriate way, not laser focus, but again, just kind of bringing in that grace and that attitude into everything you're doing. Yeah, well done.
Situational awareness.
One thing
That's
where you could
definitely
lose
something they will take
points
with them and look up and make sure that they kind of
I'm going to
know
use
how
that
to
expression, situational awareness.
awareness.
Really great.
probably like a handshake there. That's more of a sit down. It's more of a casual conversation, not a handshake introduction. So if you did that there, you'd have lost points.
So first of all, y'all blow me away every time I do this, and you're so impressive. One of the things I would say is a couple of things, but first, when you sat down to talk to me, and I was one of the people at Breakfast at Tiffany's interviewing you for a job, when you come over to talk to me, usually you shake hands before sitting down. You know, as you approach, look me in the eye, shake hands. Some of you would sit, and I know you were nervous, and it seemed that way, and that's fine. So one thing I would say, just make sure that you're greeting the person properly. The other thing that I would kind of say is one thing I saw really done well was someone took their passion, and I can't remember which student it was, but this person was a history buff, and he went into talking about the conflict in the Middle East. And instead of just saying, well, people are dying and this and that, they went into the history of the region and how complex it is and how they have to remain open-minded and look at it from both sides. And I think that was a great approach. It was really smart. You did it without passing judgment. That was a really good way of doing it. And then the other thing I would say is some of you felt a little bit nervous and didn't quite want to come out and give an answer. But those of you, and I think, I'm not remembering your name, Gregory, stood up, he came over, he was confident, and then he gave the answer that was on the top of his head so confidently. So even if he was kind of pulling the wool over my eyes, I wouldn't have known it. I was just all into what he was saying. But again, every year y'all blow me away. I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm happy to be a part of this.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right. The students learn so much from this feedback from the judges, and they're going to take that with them to the next round and throughout life, which is so important.
Not to be nervous, because I'd rather you be nervous here and then go out to the real world and not be nervous. That's important. But one thing I think you'll learn is that preparation is the key to success. So if you prepared and you really knew about politics and Nike and Truist, the more you're prepared to be on the stage of the Apollo, and the more you practice it, the more relaxed you'll be. When you're not really prepared, that's when it's really awkward and uncomfortable. Okay? Anyone else? Sure.
I want to say I'm absolutely in awe of all of you. You did a great job. One thing I do want to mention, though, and it was part of the criteria, was thanking the judge for the opportunity, or your interviewer for the opportunity was missed by many of you. And so just keep that in mind as you're moving forward. I do also want to give a quick shout out to Dante, who did a phenomenal job. And I believe the young lady's name is Valentina. She's one of the younger students. But she actually asked me a question, not to fill space or time, but to gauge my answer so that she could respond to it, find out what we needed, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. So,
Fifth grader Valentina Lodin.
Absolutely, that's incredible. I love that. And showing appreciation is something we really, really emphasize here, so I love that they heard that from the judge as well. Can't be too busy to say thank you.
To say thank you.
But one person, I don't know where she got this map from, that she pulled out a map to give me directions, so that way I'm still here. But it was a great opportunity. Everybody did an awesome job.
Who brought the map? Who had the map? Good job, Gianna. Clever.
To give to the person asking for directions, which was super clever.
Which was clever because
love
I
that
did know
at the
some
bar,
stations, they knew that they would have to give directions. She brought a map. I love it.
I love that. Shout out to you, Gianna.
Could I buy you a drink as well? Offered to buy a drink for the person at the bar, which I thought was really clever. Just subtle little touches like that. And I told you what you were going to be going through. So going through those things in your head and what should I do here? How can I bring a map? How can I bring money to tip my Uber driver? In life, you really are going through those things in your head. How can I be prepared for any situation or scenario? Any other judge have a comment they wanted to make? Sure.
So you all did absolutely amazing, needless to say. I do want to comment on, so I was in the first class, I was a first class person, and I was able to, I love that I had a 2-minute thing because I was able to kind of give a little bit of feedback at the end, and want you to always remember that the interaction that you have with a complete stranger. So I know I'm not like a real stranger because I'm at your school, so apparently I'm not a killer, right? But when you get on the airplane, your body position and everything will be different when you are than you are with somebody that you know casually. So just always keep in mind that what we're doing is trying to simulate what you would actually do and not what you think, like the whole rapid fire interview questions type of deal. There is one person though that I like to say, and it's Dylan, who came on and just sat down and said, wow, first class is very nice. You know, it was very casual and allowed our conversation to build, and then started to ask me why I was going to New York and things like that. So that's what I say, like if you're meeting a complete stranger, allow the conversation to build. Start with very small talk and then build into the things that you would want to really get into. So good job, y'all.
Love that. So Dylan getting another shout out. I think one of her greatest gifts is that she's very natural. As you can see there, she really was playing along with it. It was beautiful.
And we told the students that this is role playing too. So you got to walk into this and play a role. Still be yourself, but playing into what's happening.
How would you really talk to someone on the airplane?
One person knew she couldn't eat the popcorn. She had braces, so she walked in and spilled it and said, "Oh my goodness. What a shame." Da, 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 da. And then one student said, you want to help me with this? There's a lot of popcorn. Could I offer you some popcorn? They offered her popcorn, which would be a polite thing to do. Would you like some popcorn? I thought that would have been nice. When you got on the Apollo stage, they said there were so many, half of you, they couldn't even hear. They couldn't hear you because you were talking in your low voice. You know how in class we practice, speak up, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. There's a reason for that because you had to project. You had to fill up the whole stage and the whole gym with your voice, and you were kind of using your inner voice. You had to learn to use the outer voice to get it across. Any other judge have a comment? So we had SpongeBob and Spider-Man. They were in costume all day. Let's give a round of applause to Alec and Mason,
who are also huge competitors in the Amazing Shake, and they came back to play the part today.
Mason won the Amazing Shake in 2017, and Alec came in third that year as well. And then also, maybe the prize of the day goes to Miss Hannah Crittenton. She was that squirrel all day long in that costume, in that tree.
So at the Central Park Station, there was a squirrel trying to distract the kids, and it was also one of our incredible alumni. She was shaking trees and everything in that squirrel costume.
It was a lot.
I'm going to announce some students who almost made it, but not quite. Then I'm going to announce the kids who did make it. So if you made it, what we have to do, we're going to all come up here, cheer and be excited. Then you're going to go and you're going to get your backpack or whatever you packed just in case you go to New York City. You're going to take that and leave it in the library. So just in case you go, we'll know where your bag is in the library. Then we're going to get on the vans and head out. Okay? Any questions or comments before we start?
Students who came close to making the top 30, and then the top 30 who are going to go to locations all over Atlanta to continue the competition.
To say, I'll get better
that we've all been waiting
I'll get
for
better next year.
all year.
Okay.
So are they going to be in the top 30 to make it to the next round?
These were close.
Let's tune in and find out.
And this is, okay, so if you see your number, so there are ties. So like, for example, for second place, there's 2 ties. For 11th place, there's multiple ties. So when you see your number and it might say 24 on it, you're thinking, shouldn't I be going? I'm number 24? No, because we're taking the top 30 kids with the ties included. So understand what I'm saying? All right. So here we go. Coming in tied for 24th place, but not going because there's so many ties in front of you. Bailey Scott. Almost Bailey.
Bailey Scott almost made it.
Tegan Williams.
Tegan Williams.
Kehlani Petty, Dominic Adams, Lucy Slade, Myra Wallace, and Christian Verist.
So those are some students who did very well. Hopefully that encourages those of them who are lower classmen that next year they could be in the top 30.
Right there on the edge.
Oh my goodness.
And here we go.
Do we have any music, anything to play? Here we go. All right. You are going out of the building. Marley Everett.
A fifth grader.
Fifth grader making it to round
Yes,
two.
Marley.
Come on. Aubrey Land.
Yes, Aubrey, a sixth grader. And I saw her. She was smiling the whole time. That's
London
great.
Wilson.
London, an eighth grader.
Eighth grader.
Morgan Buchanan.
Morgan, another
Morgan,
seventh
she
grader.
killed it. I watched her. The
She
very
was the
beginning.
first
Britton
one
Mudge.
today.
Carson, love
Annalisa
it.
Walmsley.
Annalisa.
Joaquin Lodine.
Joaquin moving on to round two.
McLean Welch.
Great, all right.
McLean Welch.
He said, I'm so excited.
All right. Joseph Meredith.
All right, Joseph.
Joseph Meredith
Another
moving on to
sixth
round
grade
two.
Ryan
student.
Clark.
Ryan Clark.
Cameron McCrae.
Cameron Cray, a fifth grader.
Cameron McCrae.
Caden David.
Apollo.
Caden David from the eighth grade.
Christian May.
Christian May, another eighth grader.
Another fifth grader. Aria Sanders.
All right, Aria.
Aria Sanders, fifth grade, is killing it right now. I love it.
Drake Prater.
Drake from the sixth grade.
Sky Robinson.
Sky Robinson.
Robinson from the
Wonderful.
Black House.
Another fifth grader. Hamilton Dickey.
Hamilton Dickey,
Fifth grader again. Fifth grader.
Wow.
Really doing great.
2027.
Liam Wallace.
Liam Walton from the eighth grade.
Liam did such a great job. I loved it.
Valentina Lodine.
Valentina Lodine.
So we have siblings competing now, Valentina
I
and
love it.
Joaquin Lodine.
Makai Johnson.
Makai Johnson.
Makai from the
He
seventh.
killed it at the Apollo as well, I gotta
He was
say.
the one singing if you watched our first
Jason
one.
Adieme.
I heard
Jason.
Jason came in with his report for
Rep-
Nike of how he was going to improve
Seventh
sales.
place. Morgan Rose Jordan.
Yes, Morgan Rose from sixth grade. Another one from the Black House of Altruismo.
Yes.
Cyan Falcon.
Yes, Diane, seventh
Seventh
grader.
grade, I love it.
She was charming the judges. They were smiling whenever I watched.
Right.
Gianna Collins.
Oh, Gianna.
Gianna.
That's wonderful from the seventh grade. Eighth grade, excuse me.
Fifth place, Zion Malcolm.
Zion Malcolm,
Wonderful.
seventh grade, doing their thing.
Down the fifth
Fourth
place.
place, Adrian Prater.
Ah,
Fourth
Adrian from
place.
the eighth grader.
Adrian Prater in fourth.
So we got another pair of siblings competing now.
Tatum Trammell.
Tatum Trammell in third place.
Gregory Wright Jr.
Gregory Wright.
He's so excited.
I love it.
Dante Beaumont.
Wonderful.
Dante Beaumont.
And then there are two. Addison Riley.
Addison Riley.
Addison, wonderful.
Final
from
two here.
Seventh grade.
And in first place with over 30 points than anyone, blew it away, almost a perfect card, Dylan Andrews.
Dylan
Dylan
Andrews.
Andrews, wonderful. She got a
Wow.
couple of shout outs from those
She
judges.
did. Incredible.
So there you have our top 30. You see everyone's going crazy, excited. I know you're about to get in
I
the
gotta
van
run. Yes.
and running out. So follow Kirk. He will be giving you updates all throughout today as they're going to different places all throughout Atlanta. We'll see you later.
Now look here. Go down, McLean. All the way down, all the way down. Marley. Sky, go down. You got to go grab your bag, whatever you brought, put it in the library, get on the vans. Let's get out of here. Let's go, everybody.